Hey there everyone, so today we're going to be looking at Kerbal Space Program, which is a sandboxy type game all about rockets, space planes, and just space in general really. So quick start new game here. You can see there's 3 different game modes: sandbox, science, and career. Pretty much speak for themselves. Science and career are quite similar. I think in career mode you have to manage all aspects of your space program, funds, etc, 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 and science is the same as that, except you have to research stuff instead of just getting it as you go. Sandbox, you get to build whatever you want, so we're obviously just going to go with sandbox. Yep, we'll overwrite that. Okay, so as you can see here, there's lots of different buildings. This set of buildings over here doesn't really do anything in sandbox mode. It's research and development. You obviously use that in career and science. That's the administration building, nothing important. These are the people that you can hire to fly your ships, etc. You know, you can just blah 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 blah. It really doesn't matter about that in a sandbox mode. Now here are the 2 buildings that you're going to be looking at. This is the space plane hangar, and this one right here is the rocket building. So in KSP, you start off blank, obviously, like this, and you choose what type of pod you want where your men are gonna sit. So if we just built a very basic rocket, just grab that, put a fuel tank on it, like that, grabbed an engine, like an oversized engine, sure, why not, and then we click launch over here. You can just kind of see what KSP is all about. So this isn't going to survive 2 seconds, but see, you end up starting off on the rocket pad like this. If you I'll go into more about this later, but you press R and T. You don't have to press R really. It's more just SAS that you want. Even though we don't have an SAS module, like I said, I'll go into that more later. And this is what happens. Now, this is crazy acceleration. Like, I dread to think the G's that they'll be pulling in this, but this is what you do. You test out rockets, and there's a whole solar system to this. Now, this isn't gonna get out of 6,000 meters in the air, but if you build a rocket that's a little bit that lasts longer, obviously, it will. Okay, so now I think I'm gonna have a go at showing you that you can there's more to this game than just going up. Like, you can get into orbit and stuff. This episode I'm not gonna travel to the moon or anything like that, but I just want to show you kind of like what a big rocket looks like, and how fun it is to as you get yourself into a stable orbit, and give you some tips on how to actually make the correct type of rocket. Okay guys, so sorry if that time lapse was a little bit long. what I've done here is, on top we got a parachute, we got our pod with our guys in. That there is what's called an SAS module, which kind of keeps us straight while we're flying, which you have to enable. That is a decoupler. What a decoupler does is you hit space, this is your staging here, you hit space and that basically pops that section off if I wanted to. Then under that we got a fuel tank just there. Then here we've got what's called an atomic engine, which doesn't put out much thrust but doesn't use much fuel either. That's for when we're actually in space. Another decoupler. Then we've got our midsection here, which is just more thrust, and then solid rocket boosters, which use inside the atmosphere so that you can get quite high up without wasting any of this fuel here. And what I've done is I put struts to keep those together, struts to keep those together on the bottom. Pretty simple? I think so. Okay, let's give this a go. Let's see if we can get it into a stable orbit. Okay, so here we are on the launch pad. Now if we hit T, what that is, that turns on our SAS, which will stabilize us. If we hit R, RCS would come on. Now RCS kind of works with the SAS. The little thrusters that you can put on the side, and what it'll do, it'll spray gas in order to kind of like correct you, or you can do WSD and it'll move you. Now you only really need that in space, and by the time we're in space, we should be able to move around because our aircraft is so small, because I believe that it has some, I think the pods have something inside where they can kind of weight themselves side to side and it'll flip it over. Not sure how it works exactly. Like I said, I don't know that much about space, but it's quite interesting because this game has actually got me interested, and it got me quite researching a lot about space, and it actually brought up my level in my physics class, which is quite interesting. So tell your teachers that video games are educational too, and you don't need to go to school anymore. Now, not a great amount of thrust coming out of them, let's be honest, but you know, any type of altitude is good enough because it's going to get you up to maybe 150 meters a second, 250 meters a second, whatever, it depends on the size of your rocket, you know, without actually having to waste any of your main fuel, which is very nice, really. Now, you can't just go straight up and get into an orbit. That's not how it works. I just need to snap back into here because he's about to pop off, and this will look really cool. You have to kind of turn yourself, and you've got to make it so that your aircraft is falling, but it falls around the Earth. It's very hard to explain. Go more into that in a second, but first, let's watch this. That's kind of hot, but that's kind of dangerous. Oh my god. Okay. And blast these ones. That was a little bit too late for my liking, personally. I want to set that. And then we're going to do a slight turn. Now, this isn't going to get us into an orbit that I'm particularly proud of. It's not going to get us into a polar orbit where we go over the North Pole, over the South Pole, but get us quite high up. So what this does, it starts broadening out this line, like it starts going further and further. Now, we want to get high enough so that we're out of the atmosphere. And what we'll do is we'll cut the engines, and when we're close to what's called the apoapsis there, we'll turn the aircraft and put it in an orbit. You'll see what I mean if you don't quite understand yet. Don't worry if you don't. Sciencey shit isn't everyone's stuff, but let's turn her a bit more. There we go. Now that's definitely high enough. Close to 20. We'll pop that like that. Turn this right on its side. Now here's where it gets quite cool. And don't you just love this music? It's like ballerinas in space. Now that is too far. Times like this when I wish I had SAS, really. I might have left this a little bit too late, but it'll be fine. Now then, here we go. Oh, where are we? We're here. Okay, so we've gone slightly over it, which we don't want. We want to be aiming a bit further up, like that. There we go. That might bring our apoapsis back over. If you're not getting any of this, I'm really sorry. I'm trying to explain to the best of my ability. I'm not very good with words sometimes. basically what I'm trying to do is the apoapsis is like the peak point, and I'm trying to stop the aircraft from falling back down to, it's called an aircraft, it's not an aircraft, it's nowhere in space, the spaceship from falling back to Earth. So what I'm doing is I'm going sideways so that it broadens us out, but I'm also aiming upwards a little bit so we stay in space. That makes sense? I think that makes sense. You tell me, let me know. Now this is going to be good. Here we go. So now you can see that we've got to the other side of the Earth. Now we want to stop that around about there. And we have got a very close orbit to Earth now. But I think we're high enough. Yeah, right. So now you can see that our orbit is very, very uneven. We're going to be 251,000 meters up on that side, but only 76,000 meters up on this side. The way to correct that is if you fire your engines in the opposite direction to slow yourself down when at the opposite point to the one that you want to bring in. So if I wanted to bring that closer to Earth, I need to go all the way around here, and when I get to my periapsis, which is the lowest point, you would have to turn the aircraft, I'm so sorry I keep calling it an aircraft, you'd have to turn the spaceship as so, and fire your rockets in the other direction. So if we just bring this way a little, so we want, what this will do, because we're traveling this way, this will slow us down. And bring our apoapsis in. If I just fire them a little, don't want to go full speed, that's bring it in, you see that? It's really cool to me. That is pretty even. 66. Yeah, so I'm a little bit worried about that. 66 might actually be within the Earth's atmosphere. So, but I'm basically just showing you that this is what you can do with Kerbal Space Program. Like, so this rocket is now in a stable orbit. Just for fun, I'm going to attempt to get back. Oh, that is actually quite a nice orbit. I don't think I've done an orbit as nice as this in a very long time. That's going right over the Kerbal Center. The Kerbal Center is just there. But this is good. Like, this is what you want. You want a nice, even orbit. And what they'll actually do in space... This is how the International Space Station is. And how it works, how it kind of stays suspended, is it has nothing slowing it down. And they have so much sideways momentum that the Earth is trying to pull them back in like that. But they're moving at such a speed sideways that as they fall around the Earth. It's so much to do with space. It's just so interesting. It's unfortunate that in our lifetimes you're not going to have space vacations, because that'd be fun. Now then, let's fire our rockets like this, and we'll bring ourselves down back over the Space Center. And then we'll pop that off. Now, I should have turned down the throttle on that. But whatever. Into space you go. And yeah, so this is... Oh my god. That acceleration, though. Okay, there we go. So that's how you orbit. YouTube video rocket thing. Mark 1. Perfect. Now this is going to be quite interesting. Let's time-lapse this again, and then I'll tell you what we've done. Okay, guys, so should we just call this the Mark II? Since this has nothing to do with the one that we made last time. So what we've got here is a nose cone, like a fucking C-130 cockpit, 2 big fuel tanks, cluster engine on the bottom, then a row of 6 of these bad boys, which also have cluster type engines on, but only 2 of them, and then a second layer of them coming off at the weirdest angle ever, and then solid rocket boosters. Oh, I didn't strut. Oh, I didn't put any struts on it. It's just gonna fall to pieces. I don't even think it'll survive, like, sitting on the fucking platform. Oh god, physics. Ah! Oh no! Quick, before it falls to pieces. Oh, survive! 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 Yeah! Oh, we're overheating apparently, like a kilometer up. Can I view that? No. Okay. I know how to fix this. Uno momento, señorita. I think it's fair to say we definitely strut our stuff. We strut our stuff indeed. Okay. Still didn't put in an SES module because, you know, a rocket of this size obviously isn't gonna fall out the sky at all. Fucking tight. Oh my god, I pressed space by accident. Ah! Like, well, if we got all of this rocket and fuck it, I released the wrong one. Goodbye! Goodbye, sweet prince. No! Oh, I didn't put a parachute on. Oh shit. We're still going up. Wonder how far that thing will make it. Where'd it go? Lost it. Anyway. Oh. Okay. So yeah. So anyway, yeah. That's it for Kerbal Space Program, but I hope you enjoyed. And I look forward to showing you some of my crazy builds in the future, and I look forward to bringing you some more Derp Squad plays very, very soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.